Zook here with Zook Stitch, and today is Sunday, February 20th, 2022. Welcome to my channel about cross stitch. I'm so glad that you are here spending part of your day or your evening with me. Yesterday I did not upload because I filmed the shop with me video, which took quite a while. So if you can't sleep at night or something, that might be a great video for you to check out. It is about 3 hours and 20 minutes long, where we go through all the new releases coming out at market in a couple of weeks on the Garon Stitchery website. So check it out. Make sure that you break it up into sections. So far I've heard of one person who sat through the whole thing all in one sitting, which is amazing. But yeah, just break it up into sections, have your notepad ready with you. And just be aware that if you're pre-ordering through Garon, their pre-orders are due by Friday, the February 25th. So if you need to break up that video into sections, just be aware of that deadline. Anyway, so that was a lot of fun to do. I enjoyed doing it. I did the Needlework Expo, I think, last year as well. They're a lot of fun for me. I know they're long videos to watch, but it's really fun to kind of go through. And, I hadn't really looked in depth at any of the releases just because I knew I was going to be filming this video. So it was everything was kind of new for me as well, and I was making my list, and now I'm got to narrow down that list and see what I'm going to actually purchase and pre-order from Garon. So check that video out if you want. Just be aware of the pre-order deadline. But otherwise, the week was really good. We're just kind of in the throes of the semester. We are done with week 5 already, I believe. So we're getting there. Time is moving so fast as it usually does, but everything is going really well with work. They are talking about, not at my school necessarily, but in our state, we still have a mask mandate, and they're talking about lifting the mandate by the end of March at some point. They're waiting to be under 400 hospitalizations, I think, per day. From COVID. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. But as of right now, we still have an indoor mask mandate. I imagine even when it's lifted statewide that our school will still require masks. I can't imagine that they wouldn't at the school I attend. So that's the update there. I am sporting today my gray Kirkland signature sweatshirt. I have one in black that I wore a few weeks ago, and today I'm wearing the gray one. It's great in the mornings. They're very warm and cozy. I love them, but they do get hot by the afternoon. So I will probably, after this video, I'll actually probably be changing out. Anyway, we had a lot of comments and a lot of really great questions this week. So let's get into those. First up, Jennifer asked me, what size of fabric am I using for Glitter Village to stitch them all in one piece? I forgot to pull that, so I will be right back. Jennifer. I'm back. All right, so here is Glitter Houses by Country Cottage Needleworks. Here's number 3, for example. There are 9 in this series, and I'm doing mine all in one piece, 3 across by 3 down. You can see I have the third one, kind of done there, so that will be the last one in that row. This is an 18 by 27 inch piece of 32 count natural silver, and you can tell, like, if you kind of eyeball it, I'm going to have quite a bit left over that maybe I can stitch another small on. But if you're stitching on 32 count 18 by 27, which I think is a fat quarter now, so that's what I would go for. And I leave between each one, I think 3 stitches, and that's three stitches, right? Ideally. Some places there's some mistakes, but we won't talk about that. So 3 stitches in between each one, and I will probably do the same in between each row. I just haven't gotten there yet. So Jennifer, I hope that helps answer that question. Afton Farms asked me what fabric did I use for my Harbor Haven, which I still have not gotten framed yet, and I need to. That fabric is, I did it on a 32 count vintage smoky white. I loved that fabric. In fact, I loved it so much, I got it for another piece that I'll be starting maybe this month, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. I really like it because it's mostly white. There's very subtle light modeling in it. I thought it was really great for a piece like Harbor Haven where there's a lot of movement in the piece, right? It's a water scene. There's trees. You can imagine just a soft breeze. And so it kind of shows a little bit of movement, but it's so subtle that you, one, almost don't even notice it, but two, it just works so well with that type of scene. It doesn't distract from the actual stitching at all. So vintage smoky white. It's a great, great fabric. Okay, then we had some replies to the question. Yannicka last week asked, how do you organize all your magazine charts that you want to do? And so we asked the community. We got some really great replies. So I want to share those with you now. So Caroline says that she takes a photo of the magazine chart and looks through them when planning. So she takes a photo with her phone and has an album, which several of you actually said. And so when she's sitting down to plan, she'll go through that photo album. So she'll take a picture of the magazine chart. Lynette says she has an album also in her photos. She has one album for free downloads and one album for digital patterns. So if you get magazines digitally, you can do that as well. And if there's a hard copy from a hard copy magazine, she says she also takes a photo of those so they're all together in one spot. And then she said, just make sure you're taking a picture when you take a picture of it that you're including the magazine name and the date and all that, which is usually at the very bottom. So you want to make sure you're not cutting that off. But Lynette does this so that all of her charts then are in one place. I do something similar, but the reverse. So for my digital charts, I will print out the cover sheet and I'll add them to my paper charts. So it's the same idea, just the reverse. And then, let's see. Texadian Stitcher says she takes a picture, has a working copy in a folder. And for the digital, she screenshots and only says what she will actually stitch so that she is working on reducing kind of some of that clutter, not having a lot of patterns in her albums where she doesn't really have any attention. So it's sort of like when I flag my hard copies, right? And I really will pay attention to those flags. She does the same thing only with screenshots. So there are some ideas. I hope that helps. If anybody has any other ideas, feel free to share them down in the comments below. But thank you so much for sharing that with us. Let's see. Dawn asked, where do I get my thread picker? So last week I went through my little stitching bag and I showed my thread picker. Let me see if I can find it really quickly here for you because I just hit record and apparently I wasn't super prepared. Okay, so this is my thread picker. It's kind of twisted up right now. It has a little snowflake on it. It's really cute. And I like that it has a little cap on it. I get this from, she sells on Etsy. I'll link her down below. It's called Stitchingly Along. Her name is Charisse Smith. She makes all sorts of thread pickers, fobs, all these needle minders that I got recently are from her. She sells on one of the stash unload sites. I couldn't find which one. I'm in like 3 of them and they all kind of meld together. But she does have an Etsy site. So I would just go there. Now, this actual thread picker is it's just a needle. It's a maybe 24, 22 size needle. It's very blunt on the end. I mean, technically you can just use a needle. What I like about this is that it has this extra beads on it, which is not only darling and sweet and cute, but also it helps me find it because I just throw it in my stitching bag and it just gets to the bottom. And so having that on it helps me find it. And I also like that it has a cap on it. And so I feel like this is the designated picker needle. I often just use the needle I'm stitching with, and sometimes you'll want a sharper needle if, the fabric is more fine, or, depending if you're trying to unpick, say, stitches that are stitched over, like back stitching or something, you might want a sharper needle. But this is just actually a more blunt needle, but I like it because I can keep track of it, and this isn't going to end up, as a stitching needle because I know that this is my picker. So I will link Stitchingly along down below. She's fantastic. She has great quality items. I've gotten a lot of needle minders from her as well. I've bought some for gifts. So she has a really great product, really reasonable prices as well, and really fun products. Mary pointed out that 1, 2, 3 stitch. So we've been having a discussion for the past few weeks about fabric calculators and where to find them. Mary pointed out that 1, 2, 3 stitch also has a fabric calculator. Now I haven't looked at that one yet. I'm not gonna do a little video of that one right now today. If you want me to do a video and show you how to go through the 1, 2, 3 stitch, let me know, and I can certainly be happy. I am certainly happy to do that for you. I just won't plan to do it today just because yesterday kind of wore me out with the Shop With Me video. But thank you, Mary, for letting us know that there is one on 1, 2, 3 stitch as well, and I know a lot of us go through that site to shop. Sue also mentioned another fabric calculator, but this is also another organizational idea, even though she didn't mention this in terms of the organizational idea. She says there's an app called X Stitch Calculator that has a fabric calculator. So if you are more of an app person and don't want to go to a website every time, which I certainly understand that, there's a fabric calculator app, which also I haven't looked at. But Sue, you reminded me that there are also apps like X Stitch. I might even have it on my phone. I don't know if I do, because I wasn't using it for a while. But there's an X Stitch. Oh yeah, it's just called X Stitch. I haven't used it. I can't keep up with it. It's this one right here that says X Stitch. And that's where you can keep track of all your charts, your threads, your fabrics, anything you want. So if you want to go really digital, and then you have it on your phone, so when you go out shopping, you can check, do I already have this chart? What floss do I need? That type of thing. So that's another really great resource. All right, I think that's everything. So thank you again for all your wonderful comments, and let's get into the stitching this week. So I'm looking around because, boy, I feel very unprepared for this. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I worked on Stitch the Winter Olympics again this week. Let me show you my board. I have highlighted everything that I've done. You'll see I missed a day, and I don't think I'll be able to make that up, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So here we are with Stitch the Winter Olympics. So first up, we had stitch something with 2 or 4 people. Well, I kind of struggled with this one because I don't know that I really have something that's exactly 2 or 4 people, but I'm going to do this. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people. So not even... You can't even factor 2 or 4 into it. But anyway, it has people in it. Happy New Year by the Victoria Sampler. I started this as my New Year's new start. And I'm up here in the first little design up there. So, put this back in because otherwise it will be even more messy when I clean up. This also counted for my Y in the cross stick for this month, which is yummy. This was Happy New Year, the Y. And this is stitched on a 28 count smoky pearl linen. And this is where I got to. This is a super fun piece. It's small, so it goes really fast. I worked on these fireworks. They're not perfect at all. That's a lot of backstitching to try to get perfectly. But it doesn't really matter because they're fireworks. And it's in Kreinik. It was so much fun to see all that sparkle. And then there's a row down here and then another row down here. That bottom row has cross stitches with a four-sided stitch, which is just a box. It sounds more intimidating than it is. So this first little motif is done, and then I have the banding in between is done. And the next time I pull it out, it looks like there's one more banding in white I have to do, and then we're going to get to the singers. Yeah, so we'll get to the singers. But this chart is, it's a lot to figure out kind of the specialty stitches. And, I bought the kits, the floss pack for this. So, you have to read. I mean, this whole booklet is reading instructions, right? So I think this is a really great, precursor to a chatelaine that I want to start. This is only 40 stitches wide. It's long. It's 228 stitches long, but it's only 40 stitches wide. So it kind of goes, it's really great if you're thinking practice piece or something like that. I think it's really great, and it's so much fun, and it's like all of a sudden, just by doing these Kreinik fireworks, it's just like, this is so great. So I'm really, really enjoying this one. I don't have a specific goal on this for this year because I started it this year, and I don't usually make official goals on pieces that I start this year. So that is Happy New Year by the Victoria Sampler. All right, so that counted for my 2 or 4 or 13 people, and that was for the bobsled event, which is why they said 2 or 4 people. Next up, we have the skeleton event, which the prompt was stitch something with a Halloween, fall, or dark theme. So, of course, I pulled out my Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. This is also a Whipco piece for me this month. Yes. So, this is what it will look like. I am on block 3 here. My goal for the year on this piece is to get block 3 and 4 done. And I'm right here on this block. You can see there's a lot of stitching in that block. There's a whole entire moon behind all that front stuff too. I don't know if you can see that. This is by Carriage House Sampling. You're going to laugh at my, the grime guard I have on is my Easter grime guard. I don't think I need a 11 by 11 Halloween themed grime guard. I have this. I have the bag and the mini bag and all that. I don't have the grime guard. I don't know why. So, Gary and Ronnie, if you have a random 11 by 11 Halloween themed grime guard laying around, let me know. So this is where I got to. So I stitched on this for the skeleton theme. And I also, several days later, for figure skating, the prompt was stitch on something that has words. So I also stitched on it for something that has words. So this is where I got to, and again, I'm still working on this tree over here, and so I would switch between, a thread or 2 on this tree, and then a thread or 2 down here, because it's all fill-in at this point down there on the green. And then I have to do the horse and the moon and stuff. So there's a lot of work on this one. This is the second time. So it was also on my Whipco board last month and this month. So, and it will be on my board 2 more times. So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stitching in this. I was hoping that by putting it on my Whipco board 4 times I didn't think I would get both blocks done, but I don't know if I'll even get the first block done or maybe almost the first block done. So I will have to come up with some additional time to work on the second block to get the second block done. It's fun. It's just a lot of fill-in, which is kind of a nice change of pace as well. And a lot of you know that I've been struggling with some restarts and fabric choices and just things like that lately. So these hawk runs, they're big and there's a lot of stitching, but they're not hard to stitch on. They're all back stitch, or they're all, Oh gosh, could you imagine? That's called Blackbird. They're all cross stitched. There's no fractionals. There is some back stitching, but it's very minimal in most of them. And it's just a nice, it's become my comfort piece. And I think I mentioned that last week as well. And so I'm really enjoying that. Okay, so that one got like 6 hours of work this week, I think. Then next, sorry, I'm looking at my notes because look how dense my notes are this week. Next is a piece of your choice. This was for freestyle skating. So I chose Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor so that I could get in my so my goal on this one is 12 hours each month until it's finished. This is what it will look like. And I had done 9 hours previously, or at the very start of the month before the Olympics started. And so this is the piece of my choice so I can finish up my 12 hours. So I did accomplish that goal this month. And this is stitched on the called for, I think this is 28 count by Picture This Plus. I think it's the balloon is this one. And here's where I got to. So I finished this motif here. It was started, but I'm maybe only halfway done or so last week. I did this motif and I did this motif. So I feel pretty good about the progress. This is page 3. You can see I have some stuff to do over here, but that kind of goes down to the next page. So this is page 3. So this is as far over as it will go. And then hopefully next month I'll be able to kind of complete page 3, complete this little thing here on page 2, and then kind of move over to page 4 and start on the next row down. So I love it. I'm using the Valdani threads. They're fantastic. They're so pretty. And these ones are slow going. There's a lot of color changes. Each motif has typically a lot of color changes in them. So they are slow going, but they're so pretty. They are so, so pretty. This, I think this only counted for my monthly goal and the Stitch the Winter Olympics. Autumn Quakers. All right, next up we had stitch something with a border. So I pulled out another Hawk Run Hollow. Can you guess? Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow by Carriage House Samplings. My goal on this one is to finish this piece for the year. I'm on block 3. And it's a dense, dense, dense block. Now, the border on these is literally 1 stitch. So it's not like a super intense border or anything. But, my goal is a block a month to finish these. And it's going slowly on this one. Also winter, I probably haven't gotten as much time on it because of the Stitch the Winter Olympics. But here's where I'm at. So I did finish the entire grass down here. I did a lot of fill in. So that is all done. And then I did the fence and the gate. And this is, I think it's an apple. Maybe it's supposed to be a pumpkin. I'm not sure. Pumpkin or an apple. And then I started, so this is more grass. And that is all done. You can see there's another pumpkin or apple here. And then we will start, there's a huge building right here. So you can see where I'm at. So I have that fence done and I'm getting ready to start on this huge building and then these trees in the sky. So I stitched on this for stitch on something with a border. So you can see it has, I didn't stitch on the border because the border was done. So it has the border. I stitched on this for something with a house or building, which again will go right here. I haven't gotten there yet. And then last night I stitched on this for stitch towards your goal on a piece of your choice. So I pulled it out and last night is when I did all this green fill in here. So that is where we're at. Will I finish it in the next 8 days that we have left of February? Probably not. Because I'll talk about that in plans. But I don't think I will finish it this month. But that's okay. That's all right. It's only February, right? We will pick back up. January was really busy with the Bringo. February was really busy with Stitch the Winter Olympics. So I think March I'm doing a lot of new starts in because it is my birthday month. But it is a longer month also. So we'll have a few extra days. February is such a short month, and I never really account for that in my plans. But that is autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. So we will get there. So that is everything that I worked on this week. The one thing I didn't get to that I thought I was going to was a piece called Warm Welcome. And that was for the medal ceremony prompt, stitch something with flowers or a floral motif. And that was supposed to be Friday. I ended up having a work event that I had to attend in person, and I didn't get home from that till 10 p.m. So I promise I wasn't purposely avoiding that one because I do have to do some frogging and figure out where I messed up in that one. A couple of you said, why don't you just try to, fudge it and make it work? And yeah, but it's so early on in the piece. I'm really worried that it's going to mess up the rest of the piece and make it not enjoyable. So I don't know. So I did not stitch on Warm Welcome, and I don't think I will be able to this month, which I'm kind of sad about, but also not really. It just worked out that way. It was meant to not be worked on this month, I think. So haul, I don't really have any haul, surprisingly. I'm kind of saving up for needlework for market. So I don't really have any haul. I did go to Joann's because they have a sale on DMC. Now, the sale was supposed to end yesterday, but I saw this morning that they have extended the sale through the 21st, which is Monday. So if you need DMC, I kitted up like 4 different projects, which was good. And most of it was in stock at my Joann's. There's a small handful that I'll have to get somewhere else or, pay full price for or whatever, but that's fine. Use a coupon. But they are 45 cents a skein instead of the regular, what is it regularly? 60, 65, something like that. So if you need any DMC, go to Joann's by tomorrow. So hopefully you'll see this in time because they did extend that part of the sale. But other than that, I'm not going to show you. It's a bag full of DMC. I'm not going to show you that. But other than that, I don't have any haul to share. So plans. So we'll go into plans. I'm going to finish up Stitch the Winter Olympics. This has been so much fun. Today is the last day. It is closing ceremony, and the prompt is stitch something you plan to complete in 2022. So I will be pulling out Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow again tonight, which I'm excited for. It's really nice now that I've gotten through that bottom part that's so dense to start on the house, which is also going to be dense. But I will stitch on that. I have not. The other thing I haven't been great with this year is the focus on a designer, which is the 614 and Garan, and their Sunday Zoom group came up with it. So this month is hands-on designs. I started that basket a while ago, and not a while ago, earlier this month, and the 36 count linen was too much for my eyes. I just can't see it. They do sell it in a 32 count. They don't sell it. Stitching Mommy said, well, do they sell it in an 18 count? Because that would be perfect. And I'm like, I didn't see it. So my choices are do the 32 count, but someone suggested that might mess up the finishing of it, which is a good point. And so I might look for an 18 count of a similar color. I'm not sure. So I'll have to figure that one out. So I kind of paused on that one. And I have the Scary Apothecary by Hands On Designs, which I might also start this month. Now, originally I had showed you those really bright purple, I think I showed you a purple and a green fabric, which is a great idea in theory, but in reality, those colors are almost identical to the floss colors, and I really don't feel like changing up all the floss colors because those are Halloween colors to me. So I'll use those. They'll get used. They'll go in my stash. They'll get used for something else. So I bought the vintage smoky white pieces for Scary Apothecary. And so my plan was to start Scary Apothecary series. I don't know that I will have time. So we have 8 days left of this month. I'm going to work on Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow tonight. So that leaves 7 days. So to finish up my Whip Go goals, I have 2 more stitching sessions on Halloween at Hawker and Hollow. So we're at 7. So we'll take away those 2 for Halloween at Hawker and Hollow, and then that Whip Go will be done. And then I have 4 stitching days to do Summer Quakers, which I'll show you here in just a minute. So that leaves 1 day, but I'm coming up with 2 days, so somehow my math isn't working out right. But anyway, basically I have 6 days of Whip Go pieces to work on. I have the Autumn at Hawker and Hollow, which, even if I spend the next 3 days working on, I guess it's including today, it probably still won't get done even in 3 days. I mean, it'll get closer, but so fitting in Scary Apothecary as well, I'm just not sure that will work. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to not start another new start, and I'm just going to focus on finishing up the Whip Go goal and finishing up the Autumn at Hawker and Hollow goal, because those really are my my main goals. So that is what kind of the rest of the month looks like. Let me show you Summer Quaker. So that was my other Whip Go call. So this is another Rosewood Manor. This is the summer one. I love this. I think it's so pretty. I'm trying to see if it shows I can't remember. Picture This Plus 28 count truffle. I can't remember the name of the fabric. It is a gorgeous pink. And this is where I'm at. It's showing up a little more brown on the screen. It is a little more pink in real life. But this is where I'm at. And my goal on this is just the Whip Go. It's on Whip Go board 3 times. This one will also come out in March. For the focus on a designer for March is Rosewood Manor. And I finished spring last year. I already have a regular rotation for autumn, so I didn't want to include autumn in that. So that leaves summer and winter. And when my folks were here over Christmas and I was planning out kind of my year ahead, I asked them, I said, well, what do you think? What should I work on? Which one of these should I work on in March for the focus on a designer? And my dad said, well, winter's over, so summer is coming, so work on the summer one for your focus on a designer. So I will be working on this on Sundays, and it won't count for Whip Go or anything. It's just extra time on Summer Quakers, which is great. I'm excited about that. So that is what I will be working on. Those are my plans. I'm sorry, I have my nose is itching. It's like the Flosstube itch. And I think that's everything I have. I kind of can't believe I don't have any haul, but I do have my list from my video from yesterday. So there'll be plenty of haul coming in from Market as well. So that's everything I have to share with you. Thank you so much for watching and for sticking around with me here. I'm so happy that you're here, and I just really appreciate and love our community so much. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead, and I will see you next week. Bye.